Okay, all right. So, welcome everyone to the weekly newbie coaching calls. And if you are a brand new newbie and this is your first call, I would like you to keep your camera on because I am going to call on you and we're going to chat a little bit. So if you're new, especially, all right. Okay, so before I start, I do have a couple of announcements and updates. So let me just share my screen. Again, if you've seen this before, I agree with what Scott says. If you attend some of Scott's weekly coaching calls, you'll see that he also repeats a lot of things that he pretty much talks about every week. And his reasoning is there's always somebody new who can benefit from it, and so that's why I like to share this screen. And for those who know about it, just be patient. But the ones who've never seen this before, it's to help you, especially if you're a newbie. All right, number one, we do these calls, and now I think it's been about a year, maybe not a year, but I've been doing these calls weekly for a while now. So past recordings of these calls are not on school, but they are at this URL that's on my website. So if you go there, you should be able to see past recordings. Newbie Learning Pod, I'm actually have an update on that, so I'm going to come back to that. A while back, I did a free private money lending course. If you're absolutely new and you've never raised private money, I did a free course. There are 10 modules on it. It's very elementary, basic level, but it's free. So you can get that right over here at this link. And then from our past coaching calls that I've done, some of the calls are very, very beneficial. Some people have told me, and some of those include these top six, I would say. And these include the entire slow flip process sequentially. So while you're going through the modules, there's a lot of information, and sometimes it's a little bit hard to understand what you need to be doing first, second, third, and so on. So I did a video on that. So if you want to watch that one, that will help you with that. Then I did a video on running soul comms. Especially if you're new to real estate, this is going to help you. Similarly, running rental comms, just to help you out there. And specifically, if you're new to real estate and, of course, new to, slow flip business, top 10 closing checklist. This is again for someone who's not done a whole bunch of closings. This is just a guide for you. And then I did a video about property valuation in terms of slow flips. So this is also very, I would think, important because when I started, that was one of the things I struggled with. And finally, I did a video on tenant buyer management in terms of communication. Some people get very frustrated on how to communicate, what to say, what not to say, how to deal with them. So I did a video on that. So those are the top six videos that I would recommend definitely watch. And then I started a program called Certified Private Money Lenders in our community. So I did a training, I created a program and did a training, and we certified, I believe, 8 private money lenders who are members of the community and they wanted to lend to other people in the community. And so we launched this program. We've successfully, I think we've done maybe 7 or 8 loans. Not all of them have been funded yet, but this program is active, and so that's the information on this. All right. So let me go back to the first slide right here. All right. So now I'm going to talk about the Newbie Learning Pod. So let me tell you the kind of background, and then I have an update on this. So this is another program I started, and the purpose of this program is for any newbie who has completed the training. So this is the important part. You must have completed the core modules that are in the Freedom Accelerator program. So if you only watch a couple of videos and you want to try to join this, you won't be able to get in. So there's an application process. And by the way, this program is free. It is for newbies. So number one requirement, you have to have finished all the training. Number two, the purpose of this newbie learning pod is you've completed all the training and you are struggling with buying your first flip. All right. And so that's the other requirement. And the third requirement, there is a requirement that you should have funds for at least one slow flip. If you do not have funds, unfortunately, this program is not for you. So the purpose is, you will say, well, why do you need this? Well, the purpose is this program is specifically for those people who have finished the training, have been maybe in the program, they do have money for one slow flip, but they're stuck. Whatever reason it is, they're just stuck. They cannot do research or whatever is happening. So this is an accountability group specifically for that purpose to get you to buy your first slow flip. All right. And it is also headed by a volunteer. And I'm happy to announce the volunteer, the new volunteer. So here's how it happened. I created the program and then I recruited a volunteer to run it. And so Judd Hoffman and Beth, husband wife, they ran it for I believe 3 cycles. When I say a cycle means that number of we take 5 members in this pod. 5 members came in, every single one successfully bought their first slow flip. They exited the pod. Then we have 5 new members, and they did the same thing and they exited the pod. So we've done 2 cycles successfully, and they've done their bid, and now we have a new volunteer who's heading this, and his name is Kevin. And Kevin is actually a veteran. He's one of the oldest member in the Freedom Accelerator community. So I'm extremely, extremely proud that he's willing to, put his time and volunteer and help other people. And I'm just gonna share my screen if I can get that one. Give me just a moment. He just made a posting about this. So if you're interested in it, you can actually apply right now. So let me go back here real quick. Huh? Oh, that's not it. And by the way, while we are waiting, just letting you know again, if you are a brand new newbie, first time on the call, even if you're not first time on the call, please keep your camera on. I will call on you. We're just gonna chat a little bit, okay? What am I trying to do here? Okay, it's not working. Let's do this, and then let's do this. All right. Can you see my screen? Just put a thumbs up. Okay, so this is Kevin's posting. Just went on maybe an hour ago or so. Uh, so he will be now running this pod, and he's currently accepting applicants. We will only accept 5. Like I said, there are 3 requirements. There's a form here, so if you click on the form, it'll have you complete this form. It's just very basic information. This program is free, so it doesn't cost you anything. All right, so I highly encourage you, especially if you finish the training. If you haven't, this is a bit too early for you because it is accountability group, and then if you're in the group and you're struggling still with learning stuff, it's just not going to work. So the expectation is you already have gone through the training, right? And you have funds for the first slow flip. But it's an excellent program. We've had very, very good success with this. All right. And also, let me do this. And also, if you do want to know about what the program is, I already explained to you what the program is, but in case you want more details, if you just search in school Newbie Learning Pod, you'll see my posting where it explains all the program. Okay? So that takes care of that. We do have, yes, we are going to do question answers today. So you can raise your hand as early as now and I'll come to you. Before I do that, I do want to try something which I haven't done before. If you are new to this call, you're new to the program, please keep your camera on and I would like to call on you. Or just raise your hand. Would love to chat with you and, get feel about what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. If you don't mind, Major, I forgot. Can you search for that Kevin's posting about yeah, and then put it in the chat in case people can't find it. All right. So I'm just looking around and see who looks new to me, and I'll call on you. And if you're not new, just let me know. Maybe you're new on a call first. But on my left is Danielle. Are you new, Danielle? If you are, go ahead and unmute yourself. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Yeah, I have everybody muted. Give me 1 second. Sorry about it. Now you should be able to do it.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Are you new? Am I right?
I am fairly new, yes. Yes.
Okay, introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, where you're based, and when did you join, and maybe your background a little bit.
Okay. I joined in May. Um, I'm still learning. I've been going through all the modules. I live in Maryland, so I'm in Maryland. Originally from LA though. I've only been in Maryland for about 10 years. So everything I'll be doing, I'll obviously be doing remotely. Um, so um, Still just kind of going through everything. Kind of struggling with the private money lending aspect of everything. In fact, I was watching today Randy Hughes, the Mr. Land Trust, and it kind of actually kind of scared me a little bit because I realized that I have no real estate background at
Okay.
all. So I realized that even with people asking questions, they were kind of on a learning curve, on that podcast, with the questions that they were asking him. And I realized that with them on their learning, I was 20 steps even behind them. So I really felt lost and behind. So I'm just still learning, doing the best I can. The private money lending, it does intimidate me a little bit. Um, but that's just kind of where I'm at.
Okay. That's wonderful. So here's some good news for you. So the good news is that even I was so I have a lot of experience in real estate before I joined the Freedom Accelerator program. So both on the commercial side and on the residential side. And when I joined and I went through the training, I realized that man, this is going to be hard for people who don't have any real estate background. And I can tell you I was wrong. Because I can tell you there's so many people in our community who started the program with no real estate experience and they have done really well. So it is a combination, in my opinion. So obviously, Scott's training, Scott is amazing. Number two, the community is very, very good. You won't find, I haven't found a community like this anywhere else. And when you have the community, which anytime you get stuck, you ask a question, and people, instead of just hiding stuff, they share and they help. And that will propel you even with the disadvantage of, not having the real estate, experience. You just have to be motivated. You
Yes,
have to be open on learning.
yes,
Don't think that you know, just because you know a few things, just don't think that you know because then, you are closed. So that's the good news. That so if you feel that that is your disadvantage, I can tell you don't worry about it. There are plenty of people in our community who have joined and have done really well. So, but good, you're here on these calls. These calls, just attend them as much as you like. The reason why I started these calls was exactly the same reason that when I was new, because I had experience, I figured out the system. It was easy, but I found that there were some newbies in our community who were really struggling. And when they get on with a call on with Scott, Scott talks about everything. And he can talk about pretty much everything. So he can talk to very basic stuff and then he can go to 0 to 60, right? And so if you're a newbie, you get, oh my God, and you get overwhelmed. So I said, well, what if we did a call just for newbies? We don't talk about any advanced concept. We don't talk about we just talk about issues about getting started, any problem with, something that they're struggling with, understanding property valuation, very basic fundamental stuff. And so I like to keep it like that. In fact, when somebody does come here on the call and start asking me questions, and I can pretty much answer them, but I like not to address those questions and keep it just for newbies. And that's the purpose. Hopefully. So welcome.
well, thank you. That was very encouraging. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else who's brand new? I see Rolf. Have I seen you before? If you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please.
Okay, got it.
Yes,
Okay,
we can hear you.
yeah. Ralph Canales, I'm from Texas. I actually joined in December, but then a lot of personal things happened, and I wasn't really able to get into the program like full time, so I am just now getting started, going through the modules, learning a little bit here and there. I don't. I,
Uh, It froze up a little bit there, Ralph.
what's that?
Go ahead, just repeat yourself.
Oh,
That's fine. I can hear you now.
okay. I had a little bit of experience with rental homes, but like Scott says, you lose more money than you make. So
Mhm.
I kind of dumped that, and then I found his program, and I thought this is a better avenue for sure. So I'm just going on and learning and trying to get through the modules right now, and before I, like you said, get started with trying to get some help for getting my first property. So
Awesome. Where are you in Texas, Ralph?
San Antonio.
Got it. I'm in
Yeah.
Dallas.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, welcome. And
Okay, thank you.
please, join these um, sessions, and you can always ask questions if you're stuck. But it sounds like since you have a background in rentals, you have some foundation right there.
Uh-huh.
The community is great. So anytime you don't be shy, if you have a question, just put it on school, and within sometimes within minutes, I've had answer to my questions. So
Oh, okay.
welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Is it Jean or are you new? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Amir, is it Gina or somebody else?
Last name Conca.
No, that's not me. I have my hand up, but I'll wait.
Okay, yeah, one more minute. I think it's Jean. It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, when you're on a mobile device, the unmute button is really tricky.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
I had,
it
yes,
it flies up
it's
and then
like,
comes down.
where did it go? It's down there somewhere.
Did I say your name right? Is it
So it's Jeannie. It's
Jeannie?
Jeannie.
Okay.
Yes,
Welcome,
yes.
Jeannie.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm fairly new. I joined Freedom Accelerator beginning of June. Was gone out of town for a couple of weeks, so didn't actually dive in till I think like 2 weeks ago. I think this is my second time attending your meeting. I've been just trying to get through as much of the content as possible. I am a hard money broker myself, so that's my experience in real estate. And so I am trying to, with one of the lenders that I work with regularly, I'm trying to, I've proposed the idea of the slow flip strategy. And so working with them to try to share the need for them to develop that as a loan program. So currently that's still under consideration, but I don't have a yes on that yet. So hopefully that will happen in the next couple of months, that they'll, that they can see the value. And so we'll see where that goes. And when that does happen, then I'll let everybody know that that can be an option for a source of funds.
Yeah, that would be great, especially you coming from the background
Yeah,
as a broker, so you understand that side. Plus, now that you will have training in the slow flip program, you can explain it better.
right,
There's always like there's returns, but then there's a risk profile you look at. So
right,
that's good. Yeah, just keep us
right,
posted, and that's very good to know.
right. Yeah.
Uh, cool. Do you have any questions at this time, or?
So I'm looking at a couple of properties in Danville, Illinois.
Okay.
So I just spoke with a gentleman who is a boots on the ground. He's going to go over. I'm speaking with a wholesaler that's in the area, and so he has the properties. I guess he's worked with. He's not a slow flip. The wholesaler doesn't do slow flips himself, but he's worked with, provided several, I think he said 84 slow flips in the last year. So sounds like he's been part of the community, or at least providing properties to
Ginny, let me ask, sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah.
Do you have background in real estate? Do you have any experience in real estate investments?
I have not. This is my first
Okay.
stepping into doing.
So may I be bold to give you one advice right here? This is
Yes.
important.
Yes.
Be very cautious buying from wholesalers outside school community, outside Freedom Accelerator. And I'll tell you that even if they say they've sold to other people in the community,
Okay.
and I'm telling you just to be honest, so you understand.
Yeah.
When people are in the community, first of all, we have a very good community.
Yes.
So generally, if let's say somebody wants to wholesale a property to you, right?
Mhm.
And let's say it's not a good property. Well, they know that they're a member of the community. They're selling to somebody else in the community. At some point, somehow, if things go wrong, right? Somebody is going to say, so everybody's careful. So there's
Mhm.
this natural, I would say, barrier that is a protective barrier, I would call it.
Sure.
When you're buying from a wholesaler outside, especially if you don't have experience, I would be extremely, extremely careful. There is so much scams, and they're professional. That's what they do. They look for and hunt for people who they sense are new. They will tell you everything that sounds good to you just so that you can sign the contract. So my suggestion, especially if you're new and you haven't bought your first slow flip, I would not buy from anybody outside the community.
So it seems like there's this Jeff Anderson is the gentleman I was speaking with. He posted the property in Slow Flip Blueprint in the Facebook group, and then someone else actually in the Freedom Accelerator
So
group
let me clarify.
commented
Let me
on
clarify.
that.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. The Facebook group is open to everyone,
Sure. Right. Right.
right?
Right.
Whereas and Major, you can correct me. Major works for Freedom Accelerator program. Major, you wanna help us?
Actually, there's two Facebook groups. One is for anybody who's purchased the book, and interested in trying to join the Freedom Accelerator one day, and the other, that wholesale group, is the Wild West. So you gotta really
I love
like
that.
verify. That's what I
Yeah.
call them. But
Yeah.
you really gotta do some veracity checks on people there.
Right.
And if you get a message and you want to know if they're in school, just put their name in school and search, and you'll find out if they're a member or not.
So there was someone I think that works with him that is in school, because he posted the properties that I was looking at in school also. So it was posted in the Facebook group, and then it was also in school. But I was speaking with the gentleman who posted it in the Facebook group. So I can go and clarify a little bit more. But I appreciate, Amir, that
Yeah.
point of caution. That's very, very helpful. So I'll just do some more investigation in terms of what the connections are to the Freedom Accelerator group, and whether it is just only outside, or if there is someone part of the business that's actually part of the Freedom Accelerator group.
Hey,
Because
Amir.
yes, go ahead.
Hey, do you mind if I chime in real quick on that?
Paul, yes.
Hey, how's it going?
Good,
Hey, so
good.
actually, Jeannie, right?
Yes. Yes.
Jeannie, I actually talked to the person you're talking to about this morning on the phone.
Okay.
Several of us in the group, my wife and I do a lot of wholesaling. And I actually talked to the person that you're talking about this morning. He has offered me the two houses he's probably offering you.
Okay.
I looked at the houses, and I'm not interested in them. I have talked to multiple people that have bought in the group, and I'm not downing this guy at all, but he's
Yep.
just not one of us. He's not somebody that has,
Mm,
been in this group that understands slow flips the way we do. He gets fed a little bit of information here and there, but
okay.
it's not. He doesn't have the whole concept of how this. He doesn't understand how insurance works. He doesn't understand how taxes work. He doesn't understand
Mm,
a lot of that stuff. So when he's pricing his wholesales to try to sell them to us,
mhm.
he's not calculating certain things in that we do calculate in.
Got it.
Saying that, like I said, yeah, I talked to him this morning. Cheyenne's sitting right here next to me. and we were talking about looking at these two homes, and we looked at them and we said, no, I could, it's not worth it. So just
Okay.
like Amir was saying, Amir's extremely knowledgeable with this stuff, and be careful with these people. There have been several people in the group that have gotten a horrible it was a horrible transaction. They didn't figure it out until after the fact, and we don't want to see anybody do that. So sorry, Amir. I just wanted to chime in on that.
No. Thank you.
No, and I'm very grateful that I had that conversation before hopping on here, and that you guys were able to provide that feedback, because
Absolutely.
I don't.
Jeannie, for your reference, Paul and Cheyenne are they not only wholesale, they also fill, and they do excellent job. I've worked with both of them. They're awesome. They've been guest on a call. Cheyenne have, so you can reach
Wonderful.
out to them. Yeah, they can help you out. Thank you,
Okay.
Paul.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
So
Thank you
hopefully
guys so much. Thank you. I really
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, I'm just going to add to that. Gina, I'm going to take your question in just a moment. So now, there's 3 places you can buy from if you're new. Whether you're new or not, doesn't matter. If you want to buy, right? One is you can buy from wholesalers in our community who are our members, right? Our other members who go out and they find the property and then they are wholesaling to somebody in the community. That's great. The only issue that you will come across is that they have done work, right? They've gone out, they've spent time, resources, sometimes they've spent money to find these properties, so they have a little spread in there. So if you all have a problem with that, then don't buy from them, but do not complain. So that would be unfair, right? So just be aware that yes, those properties are not going to be the cheapest, but they generally do follow the model that Scott teaches us, and yes, you can buy them. All right. So that's one thing. Number 2, you can, if you get yourself educated, you can buy from the MLS all the time. Believe it or not, there are deals there. I buy my almost 75% of my portfolio I bought on MLS, open MLS. I don't even have any special connections and all that. You just have to be quick. And I've done a lot of training about this, so I'm not going to bore you with that, but you can buy on the MLS. All right. So if you're wondering where do I buy, just stay away at least until you're really, really good. You know what's going on, then you can go out and buy from outside wholesalers. Okay. Having said that, is there anybody else who's new and first time on the call? Gina, you're new also, so let's just talk to you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
I was listening to your information about the newbie pod. I actually just joined, or actually just requested to join. I just applied right before this call because I saw it posted. Even
Okay.
though we joined in November and we do have our first slow flip already, I saw the opportunity to basically commit and be a part of a group and be held accountable, and that interested me. So I don't know if I can still be a part of that, even though I already have slow flips.
So that's a very good question. The primary purpose it is to help someone who has not bought any. But since Kevin is now leading it, I leave it up to Kevin because maybe he wants a kind of a good mix of somebody who's completely new, somebody who has at least one, because it does help everybody else, right? So you have a little experience now. You can be a little guide to the other person in the pod who might be absolutely new, right?
Okay.
So it's really up to him. So you have applied, you've done your part. I don't have any say in this. I like to keep that to whoever is running the pod. Otherwise, I'll be too controlling of it. So I'll let him decide. Okay?
Thank you. And I just
Hello.
wanted to announce for the newbies on the call, Scott just posted the summit, so make sure you join and attend.
Oh, all
It just went
right.
live. Thank
Hey,
you.
Major, how come you never mentioned it? You don't know yet? Your Major like, I don't know yet. Nobody told me.
I haven't I'm not freely speaking or anything. I'm just like answering questions. So
Okay.
yeah,
But
it's
it's
gonna be the same
posted.
place as last year,
It's
which was
same
a
place.
great
Okay,
spot.
got it.
Yep.
You know what? When I did the presentation, my biggest problem was the screen was like on the sides. That was really kind of awkward. So if they can figure out a way to put the actually presentation screen right in the center, that would be really, really good. Because it was like on the extreme ends, that was really kind of odd. Other than that, I don't know. Maybe there'll be a different room. Maybe that hall was different. I don't know.
I think we're going to expect to have over 400 people at least, so it might be a larger room.
So how I thought last time there were 500 people. No?
That's just the minimum number we're trying to be
Oh,
prepared
okay.
for.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. And then we had the storm, right? So I think
Yes.
50 to 100 people couldn't make it. Okay. All right. Anybody else who's new, who's newbie and first time on the call, you can unmute yourself. Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'll probably not say your name right, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
That's all right. I have a difficult name. I understand. My name is Anselmo. I also go by Mo, which make it easy for everybody.
Okay. Welcome.
I were joined in the beginning of last month, so really newbie. Been to the training, most of the training. Um, Waiting to start the 3-day challenge videos. But I'm originally from Brazil.
Okay.
And when I moved here, I wish someone had offered me an opportunity like slow flips. So I remember thinking to myself, I'll never be able to purchase a home. So when a friend of mine named Ernie talked to me about slow flips, he actually met with Scott. I was like, man, that sounds like a really good way to not only build a business, build wealth, but also help other people. Provide a way for people to have home ownership. So I can be kind of impulsive, so I've been trying to make sure I'm following the steps and doing everything, but I still haven't purchased my first slow flip yet. So
yeah, so that's one thing that is good and bad, and you know nothing is perfect, right? So in our community, I feel that there is this. I really don't know how to describe it. So you have people who very happily share, oh, I bought my first property, or I bought my fifth property, or I bought my 10th property, or I bought 3 properties in 1 month. Now, it's great. I mean, we all feel good for the person who's getting all this achievement. The problem is you immediately compare yourself and you say, well, this person just joined like, 2 months ago and he's already bought 3 properties. Just don't do that. That will just drive you crazy. So the best thing is focus on yourself. Did you get enough training? Do you feel that you understand the concept? Then start doing what Scott says. The best advice Scott says, and which I repeat, which I applied. Honestly, I had so much experience, but slow flips was new for me. So I followed Scott's advice about looking at 100 homes in one market. And by looking doesn't mean that you run deep analysis. What it simply means is looking at comps, looking at the rental comps, looking at the price ratio, looking at the condition. It takes a few minutes. Looking at hundreds of those in one market will really give you a good idea of, on an average, what kind of homes are coming in that market. On an average, what the price point is. And that's all you need. Once you know that, then you're comfortable when a home comes, whether it's coming from a wholesaler, whether it's on the MLS, you'll have a good idea that it's a good deal, bad deal, or average deal, or it's overpriced. You'll know. Because if you look at 100 properties, suddenly something comes up, you'll say, well, that doesn't sound right, But
yeah,
if you don't and you try to skip that part, then you're going to have problem for sure because you won't have any idea.
Yeah, that's a very good advice. I am a full-time firefighter in Montgomery, Alabama, so I kind of know that city like the back of my hand. And in the beginning, it was easy for me to just, oh, I know where we need to go. I know it. And I was like, let me start myself. Let me look at as many houses as I can, so I can kind of know, what I'm looking for. So yeah, I've been
So,
trying to do that, but
suggestion for you in Alabama, I know now there are 2 or 3 people from our community who are now active in Alabama, which means they're buying in Alabama and there are people filling. So yeah, that market has opened up. So for you, if that's the market you're thinking about, the first thing I would do is either post or just search in school and see who has bought properties there and reach out to them and get their feedback before you start working with them. I think Paul is pointing out you bought it. Okay, Paul's right there, so he's
Okay.
bought.
Yeah,
Alabama is a great market. I
Yes,
love it.
we one of the homes that we bought, Cheyenne and I bought in Mobile, Alabama, and
Okay.
we knew Decatur really well. We knew the Illinois market really well, and then this opportunity came available in Mobile, and the house looked great. We found some boots on the ground. They went out there, they checked it out. Long and the short, it now is probably one of our best houses.
Wow.
So we have an Alabama contract to fill. Cheyenne does. I don't do fill, and she does. And so, yeah, we have an Alabama contract, but yes, it's a great market there. Like Amir was saying, awesome market, and it's probably
Yeah,
one of the best houses.
that's good to know. I did search in school um, to try to understand more about the market, and I didn't get a really good answer of the laws. Some people are saying you don't do a contract to deed. You might as well just transfer the deed. Some people said they did, so I'm still trying to get a good grasp of that. So
So here's I would suggest on that. After the call, DM Paul, and
okay,
he'd be able to give you some tips.
okay,
Because what really is happening is that's the exact reason why you don't get somebody coming out and saying it. Because if I don't have look, I don't have a property in Alabama right now, right?
hmm,
So if I start telling you what to do and what not to do, it would be incorrect, and it may be even illegal. I don't even know the contracts,
yeah,
right? So that's why it's a good idea to get first-hand information from a person who has actually done a contract for deed there or whatever it's called, because it could be called agreement for deed or whatever. So Paul would be a good person to talk to about that, or any other market. Let's say somebody's buying in Toledo, so I buy in Toledo. Yeah, I've done a couple of properties, so if you reach out to me, I can tell you what to do in Toledo and what not to do, right? So
yeah,
cool. So go ahead and
great.
do that. Welcome. And yeah, nice to see you. So, all right, Pablo, go ahead. Unmute yourself, please.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so a few things. Just what I want to say again, this community, I tell you, when you have questions, I'm pretty still new. I joined the end of April, early June. Man, when it comes to questions, this community is on point. But so this is what went on with me this week. I had an offer. I had something in contract this week. I mentioned it to the group last week, and you guys suggested. Some of you suggested, walk away from it because it was like eight. It was like 8 more months on the lease, and I found a boots on ground guy. I still went through it. I went through the doing a contract, getting it for a certain amount, and we didn't come to an agreement for the price point I had that was suggested by my boots on ground guy. I wound up sending somebody. So I'm experienced all these things, like putting a contract, just taking some action. But when it came to the boots on ground guy and they checked everything out, the number that I was trying to get, they didn't want to agree. After closing costs and everything, it didn't make sense for me. So I got out of that situation. Due to the inspection period, and I'm still looking. I was thinking about first, maybe I could take this and maybe wholesale it, but then someone in the group said you really can't. I mean, I don't know if there's any truth. Can you wholesale if you find something on the MLS? Is
Yeah,
that
absolutely. People do that all
possible?
the time.
Okay.
The
So
question,
I'm really
hold on, sorry to cut you off there, but let me just clarify. The question is, can you or can you not? Of course you can do that. You can buy anything on the MLS and turn it around. The question is, I saw that comment. What the person meant by that was, when something is listed on the MLS, generally that is retail price. So if you bought it at that price or close to that price, and then you're trying to sell it at the same price, then it's full retail price. Then it's no longer wholesale. That's what it meant. But let's take an example. Let's say the property was listed at 35. You got it under contract for 25, and you are trying to wholesale for 27. Well, if the property is worth 35, something like that, that's actually it could be a reasonable property. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that if you bought it at a price and it's not even valued at that, and you're trying to sell it at that price, well, nobody's going to buy it.
No, understand, because the one I had was like 35, and I was trying to get it down to. I got it down to 27, but I was really after the inspection. I was really I offered try to get it for 19, and that's what I was trying to sell. I was telling my daughter, like, you know what? If worst case scenario, I'll just try to wholesale it, maybe make $3,000-$4,000, and I'll be fine with that for my first. So I gotta do some more. I'm gonna those links. Because I took the suggestions. I'm reading one of Scott's books. I just downloaded. I looked at the 100 properties in one. I connected with the what do you call that? With the boots on ground guy, a really nice guy, Jason in Flint. I'm gonna watch the video.
Pablo, you're breaking up there a little bit. I know you're driving.
No, I'm parked. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can now.
So I'm really in a place right now, like I want to find a slow flip, right? And I also want to wholesale, like I want to do. So I'm back in the market. I'm looking for something right now. I sent some stuff to my realtor that I'm working with out there, but I really was like trying to maybe somebody in the Flint area that maybe can give me a few minutes of their time about that about wholesaling or just how to go about wholesaling. That's really.
So Jason is the perfect person. I mean, I've worked with Jason. Yeah.
He doesn't. He can't. I talked to him today. When it comes to wholesaling, he said that's not his expertise. So he said, put it in the group chat. Maybe there's someone in the group that can give you more better direction when it comes to wholesaling.
Yeah, unfortunately, I see a lot of comments like that. I mean, I sometimes wholesale. I'm not an expert either. So yes, it is a good suggestion that I would put it in school and get somebody to chime in on that. Makes sense?
The best bet for me right now is the classes you put in the beginning of the course. I mean, I did the 100, and I still look at properties. But you think the suggestion is to do the courses you got online, and then I know there's the application. So once I do all the curriculum courses you have on your Newbie, and then maybe try to get into that. Maybe there's something.
Okay, so the sessions that I have, they're not part of the specific training per se. They're just supplemental to the actual course that is in the Freedom Accelerator program. So when I say training, I'm not talking about my videos. I'm talking about what Scott teaches. That's the core training. Okay, whatever I do. Yeah, you already did that, so good. Yeah, you're in good place.
The application, depending on if you have 30,000, if you have at least for one slow flip, would I qualify to join that?
Yes. Like I said, the decision on who joins or not, that's not something I make, but I would just apply. There's no fee for it or anything. So I would, absolutely apply.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I'll just put that in the chat about the wholesaler, and I'll apply for that. Because I'm ready to take action, man. You know what I mean?
Good. I like that because you were here last week, and I see you on the forum. That's exactly where action results in come with a result. So you're on the right track. Don't worry about it. All right. Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lisa, are you new also? All right. Love to hear from you.
Yeah, we're new. We joined last month. This is Ian.
I'm Ian. Yeah, I'm the husband.
Hi.
Hello.
So we have different styles. We're both going through the training, so that's been good. And then we've been trying to get to as many of the group meetings as we possibly can. He is very cautious, bordering pessimistic. And I tend to be a little bit more impulsive, and I'm ready to go. I'm just ready to go. I've been wanting.
That's a perfect balance. No, that's perfect. That's exactly what you need. So, are you going through the training together, or how are you guys?
Not really. No, we haven't been able to.
Farmers can help you.
One of the wine questions. Yeah, our schedules are just kind of.
Yeah, we just catch it whenever we can.
Get a birth.
Okay, somebody's on. Hold on.
The name?
Somebody's unmuted. Can you please mute your mic?
Mr.
Yeah, what's the
iPhone
matter?
there.
I got it.
Right.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Lisa, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're just picking up the training as we can, just separately mostly.
Perfect. Do you guys have any experience in real estate? Prior experience?
Oh, no, we don't.
No, we've owned 2 homes. That's about it. Our own residence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I said towards the beginning of the call that we've had people with no experience join the program and have done really well. So when I joined, I thought it won't be true, but I can tell you I've seen many people in the group who've joined with zero experience and they've done really, really well. So just use the community. Community is one of the best sources that you have. Follow Scott's and try to attend Scott's sessions every week. The thing is they are long and there's a lot of things going on, but what happens is once in a while you get this golden nugget in one of these calls and that's just worth it. That 1 hour is just worth it. So
Right.
I would just put it on your calendar and attend those calls and yeah, just do the training and you'll be ready. You'll know when you're ready.
Great.
Yep. Great. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Anybody else who's new, who like to come on and unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please? Nobody else?
Well, I don't think we're super new. I mean, we joined end of May and we're slowly but surely going through. It's Dave here, Cindy's somewhere else, but we're going through the modules just like everybody else. I'm kind of doing it separate from Cindy because I've got a development project I'm trying to close on in Arlington, Texas.
Oh, okay.
We live in McKinney, so we're.
Oh, okay. I'm in Capel.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So we're neighbors.
Yeah.
But we are trying to finish that up, and then our focus is going to be to get into single family. Again, there's just a lot of stress in multifamily right now.
Yeah.
We actually sold our first slow flip, and we had no idea that we were selling our personal residence to somebody on a contract in 1982. We ended up taking the house back and moving back into it. But yeah, we had no idea what we were doing. We had a money-making machine. We should have just sold it on a contract again. Oh well.
Yeah. Was it in Texas?
No, it was in Oregon.
Okay. 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 So you're not new to real estate, so that's good. It's the thing with the program is there's just a lot of information and just to know what to do first, second, and third, and so on. But if you just do it at your own pace, you'll be fine. Just do not be in a rush to do a lot of properties. That's the worst thing that you could do. And I've seen people who come in the program, they learn the program very quickly, and then they just get. There's one person, I'm not kidding. I think in 3 months he bought, I think 50 properties or more. He had a lot of cash, but he just bought, and then it was a tremendous problem because he wasn't prepared, right? I mean, if you go from 2-3 properties, something you can manage, and you probably can figure out the process. But when you have 50 properties or close to that, you have other problems. Now you have, a massive amount of properties you have to deal with. There's mowing has to be done. There's other maintenance issues that have to be done, taxes and insurance and all that. So if you're not prepared, it can become a hassle. So just move at your own pace, and that would be the best advice. What market are you thinking about?
Well, we're kind of interested in Alabama and Mississippi. Jackson's like 5 hours from our house, so wouldn't be such a bad thing to run down there if we needed to.
See, that's the other thing. When I started, I've been in traditional real estate, so I've always invested in Texas, where I am, and I started in Fort Worth doing rentals. And so this idea of doing virtual investing in an area that I've never been to. So
Right.
all my properties are in areas where I haven't been. I mean, I don't know those areas at all.
Yeah.
I have no knowledge. So that was one thing, even with my experience, that was something that I had to overcome. It took me a while, but once I did, just by hearing Scott, the way he talks about, I mean, I'm first, what he says I love, which I learned many years ago, buying rentals was when I used to look at rentals, when I used to physically go and look at them, I said, I would never live in there. You know, so you have to get over that, right? By saying, well, I'm
Right.
not going to be living there, somebody else will. So that doesn't matter. So you have to take that out of the equation. It's the same thing with slow flips as well. When you're coming and you don't have much experience in real estate, you just have to get that out of your mind that you're not going to be living there. There are plenty of people who need homes, and they will live there. They are already living in similar homes. So that's one thing that I had to overcome. So that plus the virtual thing. And once you do that once or twice, then you realize it's a process. And then you're simply duplicating the process.
Follow the process. Yeah, we're trying to get our structure right. We have had several misadventures in our structure with LLCs and management companies doing commercial investing, and we want to make sure we get it right out of the gate on this one.
Yeah.
I have a document that I'm working on. I might share it with you, Amir, and see what your thoughts are. But I'm looking at land trusts, trying to fully understand those, as well as series LLCs and just
Yeah.
LLCs.
Funny thing, you mentioned Series LLC. Were you at the Scott's meeting when you had the? Okay, it's funny because I did my first Series LLC maybe 15 years ago in Texas.
Oh wow!
And one of the first thing, it was a Texas attorney who set it up for me, but obviously he never told me anything about the banking. The attorney who was there yesterday, he very clearly talked about that, which was interesting because I never knew that. So the first thing I did after setting up my Series LLC is go to the bank, and the bank says, "What is this? We don't understand what is this. We can't open up an account for you." And I'm like, this is a complete waste of time, because I was never told that, right? That if you put some asset in one of those series, well, the idea is, well, that's why you're putting the asset in because you want to run, finance. But the way he explained it was different. So I had a lot of problems, by the way, in Texas because wherever I went, nobody knew what it was. That's especially 10 years ago. But yeah, we all learn from each other, and so that's what I like about attending Scott's weekly training is that there's someone golden nugget that you'll get. Always try to attend.
Oh yeah, refill too soon.
All right.
Yeah, it's a month too soon. Yeah, that's the main thing.
Okay.
Put him
All
down.
right. So let me mute that one. Okay. All right. Well, welcome, Dave, and hope to see you in future calls as well. Does anybody else has? If I miss someone because I can't see you, if your camera's off, if you're new, and if you like to introduce yourself, just unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Okay, no one. Then I have. Okay, I have a question. Nicole, how are you? I'd like to know your status. What's going on with your property? You have to unmute yourself, though.
Yes, and every time I always unmute myself in the wrong, go to the wrong box every time.
Yeah.
Hi, Amir. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
And everyone. So I got a notice or a text or whatever you want to call it saying that the closing is pushed back again to July 21st, which made me, I don't know, I just feel nervous about it. But, I have to do your video. I did your sequential video, but the one that, and I forgot from last week because I've been so busy. It's been very busy here at the house. I've been very distracted. I have a lot going on. But since I'm off this weekend, I was going to check out the one on your closing checklist because one of the things I did not do in the inspection, and maybe I should try to do it now, is do you need to have the power and water turned on? Is that necessary? Oh, so then maybe I don't need to do that. For inspection before you close, I don't have to have those things.
The inspection, what that inspection is, that is in that contingency period that you put in the contract. So after that, the contract becomes, it becomes effective contract. So until then, you can, for any reason, back out of the contract.
Yes, I know that part. But usually during that inspection period, especially for slow flips and the price point you're getting them, do you need to put on the water and the light to see, or how does that work anyway? Would you ask them to turn it on, or do you that's just not even you don't even deal with that at all?
You're talking about the utilities, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I never have them on.
Okay.
So that inspection, that walkthrough that we're talking about, I think you're confusing. First of all, this word inspection, don't confuse it with
Like
let's say
the
you
house.
are actually buying a home and you do an
Yes.
inspect. That's a very, very thorough inspection. It's done by
Correct.
somebody who's, so we're not doing that inspection.
Right.
What this is, it's an actual walkthrough by somebody who represents you,
Yes.
maybe boots on the ground, who will walk through the property and look for those, again, your minimum criteria that you look for, that there is a furnace there, there's a water heater there, there's no hole in the ceiling, that kind of stuff. So you're verifying whatever pictures you saw before you put it under contract, assuming that that's what it was. Now you're just verifying it with your person going through and doing all of those things. So it's
Right.
like a checklist, right?
Correct. We did do that, but I am mixing it with like a traditional home inspection that usually
Yes,
run.
exactly. Yeah, that don't do
So,
that.
so yes, I just wanted to make sure about the water and the light, that I didn't have to necessarily have them have that on to check before you close.
So, like, unless, let's say when you did the walkthrough with your boots on the ground and they noticed that when you open the breaker box, the wiring is missing, the copper wiring, yes,
Uh-huh.
then you have a problem. That's
Okay.
why you have to have your minimum requirements. Check the breaker box, check the furnace, check the water heater, look at the roof condition, look at the foundation. Those are the big ones that you want to look at. As long as those are okay, even then it's risk. There's no 100% of anything.
True.
One tip for you guys, everyone, you can listen to this. This is probably the best tip you're going to get if you're new. If you buy a property that has been vacant, there are higher chance of something that is wrong with the property that is not visible, or you cannot see it because the utilities are off and all that, right?
Right.
What if the property had somebody in it literally a month ago, or somebody is already there and they're vacating it? There's a good chance that most of the things, when you do your walkthrough, you'll also see that everything is working. So it is a good idea to buy something that somebody was very recently in the property, compared to something that has been vacant for a long time. So one of the questions I ask a real estate agent, or if I'm buying from someone, is how long has this been vacant? And you'll be surprised. You'll find people say, because you have trees growing in the house, right? So you find properties that have been vacant for 7, 8 years. So there's then other questions you start asking. Well, if it's been vacant for that long, then I wonder, that's when, you think about the water heater and all that, may not be in a working condition at all.
The last question is, and of course I'm assuming I might be answering my own question, but on the walkthrough the day of closing, if there is something missing that wasn't there, that is reason to not buy the property. Like, let's say somebody broke in the day before closing and stole, I don't even want to put it out there in the universe, but you know what I'm saying. It's not
Yes.
the same. You know what I mean? Is that
Yes, it is, but you need to make sure you have it pre-scheduled, and it should be either in the contract or you have it in writing with the real estate agent by saying that you do need that done before the closing. And then you can refuse to close citing that. And it has happened, and it happens a lot. So I've started doing that as well. I do a walkthrough. I tell them that we'll do a final walkthrough 24 hours before we go to the closing table. And if they cancel it, I will cancel the closing. Remember, you're in control. You don't have to close if something that is per the contract is not happening per the contract. You're in control. You can say that, well, I agree to this. Since that's not happening, I'm not closing.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Well, good luck. Don't worry about the delays. It happens. You'll be shocked how many times. I'm currently in a contract right now that I was supposed to close on the 5th. And I just found out there was a tenant in there, and the tenant was saying, yeah, I'll leave. And then I specifically wrote in the contract, knowing that this happens, that if I close with the tenant in the house, it becomes my problem. And sure enough, the tenant refused to leave. But since it's in the contract, the seller is now evicting the tenant. So I'll wait for the seller to evict the tenant, and then I'll have to wait 30 days. So delays happen all the time. I wouldn't worry about that. The only thing you need to be cautious about is why the delays are being caused. You know, if there's an issue with the title, usually the title company will tell you at some point that, hey, looks like we have a problem with the title. We may not be able to give you. Were you? I think I spoke to you. Were you talking to me about that, about title issues, or maybe it was
Yes.
somebody?
Yes.
So what did they say? I remember I
I
told you to
haven't heard
talk.
anything at all. I haven't even contacted them. Again, I've been busy, but
Okay.
it got delayed. I will try to contact them. Well, it's going to be weekend now, so maybe Monday.
Yeah,
and
just shoot
see.
them an email. I mean, if you're busy, I
Okay.
understand calling is always hard, but when you do it in writing also, it's hard to ignore something, you know.
True. True. That is true. Okay.
All right. Well, good
Thank you
luck. Just
again.
keep us posted.
I shall. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. All right, guys. So if nobody has any questions, have a good 4th of July. I'll see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.